There's one thing in life that I know, and that's running profitable giveaways through paid media. It was October. It was from the 1st till the 31st of 2020, and we did 7 million in a month. Previously, we were doing 2 to 3 million max, most of the time 2. And for whatever reason, it just popped off. I was just loading campaigns, and it didn't matter what the creative was. It didn't matter what it was just crushing. And we just kept, I remember the very last day, we did $1.43 million in the very last day of the giveaway. I've got big brands now that do, 3-4 million a month, but I've never had success like we did with that $7 million in a month giveaway. I'll never forget those days, man.
Content from real people equals instant credibility for your brand. Consumers today crave real connections with real people, and they're guarded about who they'll trust. Highly polished, branded content simply doesn't cut it anymore. Let MiniSocial build a network of powerful micro-influencers around your brand who all know and love your products. They'll create something compelling that resonates with their audience and deliver it directly to you for use across all your marketing channels. Yeah, that includes ads. Meet millennials and Gen Zers where they're already hanging out, in the feeds of their favorite influencers, and get started with MiniSocial. Van, welcome to the DTC Podcast, man. It's been a long time coming.
Happy to be here.
Good to be back in contact. Van and I go way back. Tell us why you think more brands should be considering running giveaways in 2024.
Right into it, just like that. Facebook's gotten a lot more difficult. There's no pussyfooting around it. It's just gotten more difficult. The cost to acquire customers gone up. Advertising, obviously the spend's gone up because a lot more companies are advertising there. And I think a lot of companies are hurting. Back in 2018, 19, you could throw Facebook ads and create a complete business.
Yep.
And I think those days are kind of gone of just running Facebook ads and creating a shitty product and company and then being able to scale it. So I think with what we do with the giveaways, like we run a lot of sweepstakes and giveaways, I think it gives you a marketing angle that you don't typically have. I talk about it all the time. It's a market. It's an auction platform, Facebook, right? And if you're selling a t-shirt and I'm selling a t-shirt, but you have the possibility of winning a truck or a Lamborghini with my t-shirt, I'm going to win all of those auctions.
Yeah.
The traffic's just going to be so much cheaper that it can afford to pay for these, for a truck or a car to give away. It'll back out within a couple days and then the rest of it's profit. So I think just the reduction in CAC and CPM cost alone, I think every brand should be doing it. In the past, it's only been giveaway brands that were doing this, that were established this way. And now, as of the last quarter or so, I'm seeing a lot of big reputable brands getting into the space of just something wanting to, boost some revenue during down months. So they launch a giveaway, but also just give back to their customers a little bit. It's something fun that they can do that's exciting, that backs out ROI wise, but it builds a good community around your brand, right? It gives you something to post on social media, and you're giving back to one of your customers. It builds a really good community. So I think there's a lot of reasons to do it. And I'm seeing a lot more big brands that aren't giveaway brands that are starting to do this just to kind of boost some sales.
I want to get into best practices around giveaways, but give the audience a bit of a background. Like, you've probably run more giveaways than I can't think of a marketer who's probably run more giveaways as you have.
There's not.
Given your background, talk a little bit about how this style of giveaway was developed over your career.
Yeah, so and let me explain this model, right? Because a lot of people, when they hear, we're running sweepstakes or something, they naturally think like affiliate traffic, sweeps, offers. That's just trash traffic, right? These are people who are just getting online and trying to win an iPhone or an iPod or an iPad, and they're giving their email and phone number and hoping they win something, right? And a lot of it's scammy and trashy, and the traffic's really bad. What we do is very different. So in 2013, I started running traffic and launched an agency. And then I was hired by a company called Diesel Power Gear, who was featured on the TV show Diesel Brothers back in 2015. And their whole business model was predicated around every dollar you spend in our store gets you entered to win something. And we gave away actual diesel pickup trucks. We're talking $100,000 trucks. But the differentiator in this traffic is that these people have to actually spend money to get entered to win, right? To increase their odds of winning, the more they spend, the higher chance they have of winning. And then at the end of this giveaway, call it a month long or 2 months long, we actually give these trucks away. I've given away over $10 million in cash and prizes and all sorts of stuff, and legitimately giving it away. And it went from that, doing that with Diesel Power Gear till 2020. I was there as the CMO for 7 years. And then I stepped away from there to launch an agency where now we do this for all sorts of businesses, not just them. And now it's a pretty well-known business model now, as to where when we started in 2013, when he started, that nobody was doing that. There was literally nobody doing this giveaway model, this sweepstakes model of like an e-com store. And now you see it everywhere. So a lot of the big companies are doing it. There's massive companies out there doing it, and a lot of people are. So I think it's just people realize the reduction in traffic cost and the reduction in cost to acquire a customer. And it just makes a lot of sense for a lot of brands to grow lists, SMS, email list, all of the above. But at the same time, I've never not been profitable on the front end of one of these giveaways. So they do drive revenue as well, but they also grow your lists massively.
When you say front end, does that mean people are buying because I guess I love the diesel power model because you blend the contest with the e-commerce perfectly, where the more you buy, the more you get entered to win. Is that how you're doing it with clients going forward? Are you integrating it deeply into the sales as well, or is it more of a standalone thing?
No, definitely into the sales as well. We'll put it on the Shopify, connect, some of the apps that we use to our Shopify that'll show, if you spend $25 below it, it'll show a ticket entry, 25 entries into winning this car or whatever. So it's definitely something that we've integrated with the companies, and they can go on and off the giveaways kind of whenever they want, but you just push people, the more you spend, the higher chance you have to win.
Is there a legality thing where you have to let people enter without purchase? So you can give them maybe the one ticket to enter without purchase, but then they increase their odds massively by making purchases, right?
Fantastic question. And you're exactly right. There is legalities to this. Here's what the law states in the United States. If the prize is over $5,000 in value, you have to have it licensed and registered and bonded in every state in the United States. If it's under the $5,000, you don't really need to register it. Like, it falls under what the governments need to see and want their taxes on and so forth. So under 5,000, you don't need to register. But if it's over 5,000, you do have to license, register, and bond it in every state. And you have to accept an alternative method of entry. We call it an AMOE. And what that states is that somebody in the United States, if they don't have a dollar to their name, they still need to be able to enter your giveaway. If they can't enter your giveaway, then that's a lottery and that's illegal, right? So the way that we do this is we actually will allow people to send in mail-in entries. And it doesn't have to be on the homepage. Everything on the homepage says every dollar you spend gets you entered to win. The law states that it needs to be 2 clicks away from the ad. You have to show people an address of where they can send in a postcard to get an entry for free. So you click on the ad, you go to the website, and at the bottom there's an official rules tab, and they click on that, and then they have to scroll, way down, and then they can find where they can enter these things for free. But that's kind of the red tape, the workaround to make sure you're legally compliant, and also you're not running a lottery and it's not illegal, because this is what accepting an AMOE is what makes it legal.
Super cool. Okay, walk me through how you set up the offer. First of all, so say I'm an apparel brand wanting to come in this, I want to make a splash. What's the process where you select the prize through to sending the retargeting emails to the people who didn't win kind of thing?
It's super important that you understand your niche, right? A lot of times people be like, I want to run a giveaway, but I don't know what to give away. Well, you know your brand better than everybody else. Is it a male-centric brand? Is it female? What's the average age demographic? So forth. And then once you understand your brand really well, like Diesel Power Gear, it's a diesel enthusiast company. So a diesel truck makes a lot of sense, right? We just did one with a skatewear brand called Primitive Skate, where they used a Tesla. It was a $30,000, $35,000 Tesla, and they They made it all fancy and they got it up because a lot of their people like driving Teslas. So you just want to make sure that it fits your brand. If you've got a female centric brand, you could run a C-class Mercedes and maybe cost you 30 grand, but it still has the idea of luxury and that, every woman would love to drive a Mercedes, right? So once you understand your demographic, then you've got to pick a prize, whatever it may be. And it doesn't have to be a car. Like we give away like $400,000 Lamborghinis all the way down to, MacBook Pros.
Vision Pros have got to be a thing for the right audience these days, big time.
I'm telling you, we're doing a lot of Vision Pros on like weekend promos, not as the main giveaways, but like weekend giveaways and stuff. Vision Pro, because the virality of a Vision Pro on social media right now, the reach is just fantastic, right? So, so we're doing a lot of that with our brands. But yeah, it doesn't have to be a $400,000 vehicle, though it can be. It can be a $20,000, $30,000, or even like a $1,000 phone. Everybody wants a new iPhone when it comes out, right? So I don't know why more brands don't test iPhones. But then once you figure that out, once you've got the giveaway item, call it a car, let's call it a C-class, you've got to license and register and bond it, and that takes about 2 weeks. And then once you've got that license and registered bonded, then you're good to go legally. But then you got to get the website set up, get your content made to run the ads with, to run the paid with, and then run it through the whole thing. And then also at the end of the giveaway, making sure that you're filming the winner content, because that's some of your best remarketing that you'll ever do for your brand, is you giving away, changing somebody's lives. We're talking confetti and streamers and they're jumping up and down. And then you can turn around and run this as remarketing the next time you run a giveaway, or just on your social media channels. Who doesn't love to see people win stuff? Mr. Beast built a whole brand around it.
Yeah, 100%. So you've got the prize, you've got it all legal bonded, you've got it sent out to your audience to build hype. You're building, your creative around the winning process, and then it's a matter of remarketing to everyone on your list who didn't win with a discount or something like that.
You don't even have to remarket to it. Like, listen, like everybody understood that they didn't win. It's okay. There's only one winner. But yeah, you do want to tell that story of like, here's our winner. He's from Wisconsin. His name's Mike Smith, and here's his picture. Here's all this stuff. And a lot of people, they'll get bummed that they didn't win. But at the same time, when they start to see other people win, the next time that you run a giveaway, they're like, dude, I saw the guy win this. So they're the first to jump back in. Our average repeat customer rate for a giveaway brand is 45% on a non-subscription business, right? So to have a 45% repeat customer rate, because they saw somebody else, they wanted to win it, they didn't win it, that's fine. They got cool shirt, cool hat, they got whatever, supplements from it, they got all their stuff from it anyways, but then the next time that they run one, they'll want to get entered because they saw somebody else win it.
And when you say profitable from the get-go, then, are you talking about people coming in, entering, realizing there's a contest, buying enough to enter the contest to pay for them to be acquired, basically? That's what that means?
I'm talking like I've never lost money on the front end. I'm not talking lifetime value. I'm talking on revenue on running a giveaway, including the cost of the vehicle or of the paid advertising and all of the above. I've never not been profitable on the front end, right? And then that's a massive, even if you just broke even, that's still a massive win because you just grew your audience by 5,000 people that entered this new giveaway. So now you've got this massive customer list and people that know about your brand. You've got this virality about you. And even if you did just break even, you still won. But we've never lost money on the front end. Typically, we'll see our clients pay off the vehicle within the first week of the giveaway. And then from there on out, it's all profit, It doesn't matter how many people enter you, the more the merrier, right? And then it's just profit from there on out.
Super interesting. And then with brands like D2C brands specifically running these things, do you find that they'll run one or two at key times of years, or are the smart ones kind of building this into their ongoing like monthly attack?
There's two routes to go about it, right? And I'll tell you the negatives of running a giveaway company, because that's what I did for so long. We were built around a giveaway company and that's all we did. So the problem with that being is that when you're not running a giveaway, nobody buys anything from you, right? Because they're just waiting for you to run another giveaway. So the problem with it, if you become a giveaway brand, if you set your brand up this way, you just kind of have to be running a giveaway constantly, because that's what they're waiting for and that's why they're buying. Now I've seen these bigger brands come in and what they're starting to like, what most of them came to me and do, and they're just trying to boost sales at like a downtime for them. They're like, hey, historically January is really bad for us. We just kind of want something to spice it up during this January. And what I'm trying to tell people is like, no, you need to focus on doing these at your biggest times, right? The Black Fridays, the Cyber Mondays of the world, where everybody's intent to buy is already so high and you do your most revenue now. And then it's just going to make it that much more enticing to purchase during those times if you've got a giveaway going on. So I don't think there's a right or wrong way necessarily. A lot of brands are doing it to just boost sales, but I think it should also be used during your biggest sell times.
What are some mistakes you see people make with giveaways?
Not getting an influencer involved is the biggest. And like, I cannot tell you how important it is. Like if it's your first giveaway, let's say our podcast can run this giveaway and you go to run a giveaway and you start running ads for it and people see the ads, not a single person is going to believe you're giving away a car because they don't know you. They don't know your company. You're prospecting all these new clients and they don't know anything about you. They don't even know if you give this stuff away. Chances are they're very skeptical that you do. So maybe they go to the website and they look and you don't have any past winners or any information on past giveaways. And they're like, this is a scam. But for whatever reason, people trust influencers, right? If Logan Paul says, hey, I'm giving away this truck with diesel power gear, everybody just believes it because it's him, right? So one of the things, the brands that I see do really well with these, they get an influencer attached like right from the beginning. Primitive Skate just did it with Paul Rodriguez, who's a skateboarder, right? He's part of the brand and they did it with him. And all the ads were from Paul saying, hey, I'm giving away this Tesla with Primitive Skate. And it was all about him and just the validity of what he was doing was there because he was an influencer with a very recognizable face that people trusted. Now, if you've ran 3 or 4 giveaways in the past and you have past winners on your website to where when they click to the website, they can see that you actually do give this stuff away. An influencer might not be as important, but the brands that I see that are doing, 3-4 million a month running these giveaways, they have influencers attached to them.
And then when it comes to, I remember when you were running your giveaways, when we were previously engaged, when you're helping out with the Snapchat course and stuff, there's just a lot of like, when it comes to like building the momentum, building the communication up around the contest for people in the contest, like how do you describe the communication flow? Like when that contest is on, like you're probably trying to hit them across all channels, Snapchat, TikTok, all these different things. What does the advertising for these giveaways look like?
So as far as advertising goes, as far as the cost goes, everybody usually asks me, how much do I need to throw at advertising for one of these giveaways? And an easy rule of thumb for me is like, if you've invested $100,000 into a truck, you need to invest $100,000 into ad spend to recuperate your loss in the vehicle, so forth. So, and if it's a $250,000 whip, whatever, invest $250K into advertising. But we do this from an omni-channel approach, right? Facebook is still the 800-pound gorilla in the room, and It's still going to drive 70% of the sales. But that being said, when you do this correctly with a Google and with Snapchat and TikTok involved, they all kind of function together. An omni-channel approach with giveaways does really well because, they saw it on Snapchat because an average Snapchat user opens the app 60 times a day, and they saw it there, but they're not going to buy on Snapchat. And then they see it on Facebook, and then they buy on Facebook, or vice versa. They see it there and then they go to Google, they buy on Google. So we advertise on all channels, and as we've grown our lists from doing this for so long, we have really big lists that are super valuable. So SMS and email, obviously the second that these launch, everybody gets a text and an email. We run the paid prospecting through that way. They get entries. If they buy, they get entries. If they refer people, they get entries. If they sign up for an email or an SMS, or they get entries for everything, right? Because an entry doesn't cost your brand a cent, but you can utilize these giveaways in so many different ways, like refer somebody to the site, sign up for SMS, sign up for an email, buy something, whatever you want to do. You can even give entries away for UGC, like submit a UGC and we'll give you 10 entries to win of like you with our product. There's a bunch of stuff that you can do with these, but we go hard out the gate as soon as these launch with Facebook and with paid marketing channels. And then you usually see it like blow up the first week, and then it kind of lulls in the middle. And then the last week of the giveaway, 75, when urgency is the highest, like there's only 5 days left to win this car, 75% of the revenue will come in that last week.
Once you have the winner, you have the story, you have your images. Are you running that in ads after the fact? I remember like when we were talking about the conference business, once a conference is sold out, you're running ads that say this conference sold out. So that next time, people that are like, oh shit, I need to buy earlier kind of thing. Do you run ads with the winner's content at all after the fact, or is that all done through email?
We run remarketing ads with the winner, because somebody who came to the website and thought about buying, but for whatever reason didn't buy, or they were on the fence and they didn't buy. And now the remarketing ads that they get are ads of the last person who won, and you're selling the dream, right? That's the whole marketing, is always selling the dream. That's it, right? So now you're selling the dream to this person of like, this person won, you can win too. And a lot of times it's our best performing remarketing content is the past winners winning.
What are you using to keep track of all the entries? Is this an out of the box tool? Is this something you've built?
There's a couple ways. We've built ours, right? We obviously, if you've been doing this for a while, or if you have a decent developer, you just build your own. But most of my clients, I'll refer them to a company called Viral Sweep. It's a Shopify app. They track every dollar you spend, get you an entry. They track all of this stuff for you. I think it's like $400 a month, something like that. And then it gives a place for when customers come to the website and they want to see how many entries they have, they can go click in there and see how many entries and so forth. So Viral Sweep's a good solution for a first timer. And then if you were going to do this, or if you had any sort of budget allocated, I would build it custom.
What's the most successful giveaway that you've ever run?
Great question. I'll never forget those days, man. I will never forget that last week. And in particular, the last day of the giveaway, it was October. It was from the 1st till the 31st of 2020. And we did 7 million in a month, when previously we were doing 2 to 3 million max, most of the time 2. And for whatever reason, it just popped off. You've all been a part of an ad like that where it just pops off and you're like, I don't know what to do. Dude, I was just loading campaigns, and it didn't matter what the creative was. It didn't matter what it was, just crushing. And we just kept, I remember the very last day we did $1.43 million in the very last day of the giveaway. Just watching that Shopify store. And I've never done anything like that since. I've got big brands now that do, 3-4 million a month, but I've never had success like we did with that $7 million in a month giveaway.
And what was that? Was that diesel power? And what was the actual truck? Was it just like the ultimate souped up truck?
No, the crazy part is that it wasn't that crazy of a truck. It was just a brand new GMC truck. It was a diesel, had a lift wheel and tires. It probably cost us, $100,000 total into it, probably 75. And then we probably put 25 of modifications onto it. But it wasn't a crazy truck, honestly. It was something that I think a lot of the shit that we built, people just thought it was unrealistic. Like, I could never drive that. Like it's too big, too crazy. And this one was something normal that I think fit everybody, anybody, a girl, a guy, like whether you're an accountant or whether you work on the oil rigs, you could drive this truck. So I think it appealed to the masses a little bit better. It was called Tron. Like it like had a reflective, it was like black, but if you flashed lights on it, like the reflective had some designs in it that would pop. So in the night, it was called Tron.
I think I saw in your feed a little while ago, it was a Cybertruck with snowmobile tracks on it. That one's a little more niche, right?
Yeah. That one, we're not giving that away anytime soon. So that was just mainly for the hell of it, for the YouTube channel.
I know you're a car guy. What's your favorite car these days?
I'm not crazy. Like, I've got a Cybertruck. I've got a Cyber Beast ordered that should be here any day.
What's that? Beast.
It's a Cybertruck, but like the souped up version, like the 0 to 60 in like 1.8 seconds version of the Cybertruck. So that should be here shortly. But I love that Rolls Royce, man. Craziest car I've ever had.
What makes it so crazy? I see it on Instagram. It looks. What makes it so crazy?
I don't know. There's just something about a Rolls Royce that turns heads differently. Like, I've driven supercars before, and they get like a lot of people looking at, but there's just something about a Rolls Royce that just, I think it just a different level of, I got more head turns in that than I ever did in any supercar I ever drove. So, and just the luxury status of it. This thing was 19 feet. You could like lay down in the back. It's got starry headliner. It's just a different level of comfort, and it rode like a cloud.
If I think of the people who listen to this podcast, it's a lot of, I think there's a lot of apparel brands out there. There's a lot of CPG brands out there. For people looking at their first giveaway, they're maybe not jumping into a car or a Rolls Royce. Maybe they should. Describe a package for someone kind of getting into this. And here's something too. We've talked about on the podcast, like giving away a big package of your product. So like a giveaway, a lifetime supply of your BioSteel or whatever. What do you recommend to people who are deciding to do something like that versus a more, a giveaway that you've described here?
That's a great question. And the honest truth is I would steer as far away from giving away your own product as you can. They're already buying your product. They don't need more of your product, right? Like at the end of the day, it doesn't motivate people the way that winning something that they just get a win, like an iPhone. We typically find, we've ran all sorts of stuff, vehicles, cash, vacations, Louis Vuitton bags, designer purse, all this type of stuff. And we find that tangible items that they can just win and get delivered to their house work best, right? And then cash works kind of second, but it's not as good as a physical item. And then the worst of all of them is giving away your own product, just because they already get your product anyways, right? It's not motivated and if you're an apparel CPG brand, maybe a little bit differently, right? But like an apparel brand, they don't need more of your shirts. They don't want to win more of your hats, right? They would rather just find that it works better to give away a physical item that they can just win, that fits the demographic. It just seems to work a little bit better.
You said vacations suck too, which is interesting because everyone thinks they want to take a vacation, but when it actually comes to doing it, it's like, it's got all these complications.
A 9-to-5 worker that gets, 15 days off a year. They need that for Christmas. They need that for all their stuff. They don't have the time available that you think they do most people can't go take 10 days off work and just leave their life behind for 10 days. So on top of the fact that a vacation a lot of people don't love vacations. They have to leave their home. They have to leave their comforts and they have to go somewhere. I just don't think it works as well as something tangible that they just get delivered, But I think at the end of the day, a lot of people can't take time off like you think they can to go do some sort of crazy vacation.
With the economy tightening, with inflation continuing to ramp, this kind of approach to marketing it just seems like an edge. It seems like it's only going to become more prevalent. I remember like when I was in the affiliate game, like sweeps and things like that would really take off in times of financial hardship because people are kind of looking for those extras. Is that something you see as well with the trend?
No doubt. I don't. 80% of Americans admit to gambling at least once a year, right? Of some sort, some way, shape, or form. Like I did a presentation for Affiliate World one time where I showed basically what a brain looks like on cocaine. And then I showed the exact same brain on gambling, right? And it triggers the same exact neurons, the same exact dopamine rush that you get from doing cocaine, you get from gambling. So like this is in essence a way for people to gamble, but instead of gambling, they're not just giving money and hoping they win money. Like they actually get something cool, right? They get the product, they get a shirt, they get a hat, they get your gummies or whatever that you're selling. They get that already and they're going to buy that stuff, but now they have a chance to win as well. So it's a little bit different, but I think with the economy tightening up and there's no debt, like people are trying to act like it's not a thing. Like Facebook hasn't gotten harder and that they like at the end of the day, it at some point the economy does have to tank. There's no way for it not to, and it is getting harder for sure. I think this is a way that gambling is kind of recession proof. People will always gamble. There's no way around that. It's in human nature. They love the idea of winning something. So I think that will always be there.
Where are people getting in touch with you these days, following you around?
Man, I speak at a lot of events, right? Instagram's probably the most. I'm most active there. It's your boy Van on Instagram. But then, I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm everywhere.
You want to know giveaways, you got to talk to Van. He's an expert.
There's not a lot that I know. There's one thing in life that I know, and that's running profitable giveaways through paid media.
I've built Van and his wonderful family into my podcast background with the world's greatest Christmas card.
That's right. I do always send one.
I appreciate it, man. Cool. Well, thanks for coming on the pod today. This was a lot of fun.
Of course. Always, man. Love to be on the pod. Love what you guys do. I get more and more people telling me they listen to this DTC pod, and I'm like, yeah, I know those guys. Yeah,
you knew me way back when we met at a Tim Bird mastermind in like 2017. And I just got to get in the same city as you, because I think that's when the real magic happens, when we get in the same city.
For sure. Yeah, we've had some good times all over the world, man.
All right. Thanks, brother.
All right, dude. Take care.
Thanks so much for listening to today's episode. If you're not a subscriber to our newsletter, you can do that right now at directtoconsumer.co. I'm Eric Dick, and this has been the D2C Podcast. We'll see you next time.